Brewing has a bigger impact on the climate than you may think. Here at Deya, they make around 1.5 million pints every year. Many of the hops come from America and New Zealand. They use lots of water, heating for the boil, energy for the canning, kegging and running the brewery. And after the company did an audit of their carbon emissions, they decided to do something about it.
We looked at our cardboard, we looked at our labels, we looked at heat recovery and things like that. We bought carbon credits, and we're going to look at bigger projects such as CO2 recovery. We want to look at solar, do as much of stuff in-house as possible, recycling streams, educating us as a company, like our employees, our consumers, etc., and then offsetting, and then looking at big capital projects.
So Deya is speculating to accumulate. The company has invested over £60,000 in the restoration and maintenance of 65 hectares of peatland in Snowdonia. The area has eroded over many decades, and what was once storing carbon is now releasing it into the atmosphere.
Peatlands are great carbon stores. They've got a lot of ancient carbon stored in them, and it gets oxidised, so you get tons of greenhouse gases just pumping out of this stuff, and you're losing that precious carbon store. So we want it like this stuff on the top rather than like that, so we really need to put a cap on those greenhouse gas emissions.
But this is the long game. It will take 35 years for the restored peatland to stop releasing the equivalent of just 3 years of Deya's emissions. This shows the scale of the sustainability challenge. Around 70 to 80% of the company's emissions come from off-site, such as suppliers and transport. So others have a part to play.
There's a whole heap of emissions that are associated with fertilisers that are used to grow the malt and the hops and stuff. So it's quite tricky because we have not a massive control over those sorts of factors. That's why we've got to work to reduce in-house and then offset what we can't.
The brewery also believes that its customers should understand the environmental impact of what they're drinking. So on every can, on every label, they've printed the carbon footprint per beer.
I think we're doing a decent job of where we're at now, considering our size, the funds that we have. It's a whole big, complicated picture that we're trying to understand as we go along, but trying to be transparent and open and honest about things the whole time.
Like many businesses, Deya is now monitoring its emissions each month, tweaking where it can to keep the numbers down. And like many others, looking to the long term. There is no quick fix when it comes to sustainability. Steve Knibbs, BBC Points West, Cheltenham.